Good Sunday morning, Unity Halton Peel. I'm Wendy Carr, licensed Unity teacher, your host and speaker for today. And it is a wonderful September day here. Nice weather for us in the Halton Peel area. And welcome to everyone on a Zoom call. Welcome to everyone watching on social media at a later time. And let us just come together for a gathering. And our mission, why we bother doing this, why we bother getting up a little earlier or choosing not to do anything Sunday morning except be on our Zoom call. Our mission is to lovingly inspire transformation and be of service to the world. Sometimes we need that little reminder, that little oomph to get us going through the week. And now I'll call on Ruth Ellen to please read our daily word for today.
Thank you, Wendy. Good morning, everyone. The title for today is Blessed. All things work together for good in my life. I am blessed. If someone asks me how I'm feeling, I may smile and simply respond, I am blessed. I may have bills to pay and maybe a few aches and pains, but I remain aware I am an expression of God. I know wherever I am, whatever I am doing, God can never be further away than my next thought. While I may not believe challenging events are blessings, I will likely feel blessed when I respond from an awareness of God's guiding, loving presence within me. Rather than reacting anxiously, I proceed calmly and with confidence, trusting divine order. Knowing I am blessed, I radiate faith and I pray helps others recognize the blessings in their own lives. From Numbers chapter 6, verses 24 to 26, the Lord bless and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace.
Amen. Thank you, Ruth.
Amen.
Awesome. So let us continue in that attitude of blessing and that prayer. And just bless everyone on this call, everyone who is part of our community but not here right now. Surround them in love and light, knowing that they are doing what is theirs to do at this moment. And for those watching at a future time, we love and bless you and affirm that there is no time or space, that in this oneness that we all belong to, we are one in this moment. We are praying with you as you are watching this. And we just know and affirm this oneness, regardless of what the world feels like, regardless of what the news is telling us. We know that we are one and we are blessed. And so it is. And our first song, a favorite of mine, and the picture I took in Pennsylvania last year at about this time. Beautiful space.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. 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 My soul is welcome
All right. Thank you, Daniel Namod. Love that song. Love, love, love that song. All right. I'm going to tune things a little bit down a little bit. But I needed to hear this next song. So you're all going to hear it with me.
I am here, I am whole as I am. I am saved, I am loved as I am. I am grateful and I'm free, and I'm as perfect as can be. I am here, I am whole as I am. Nothing can illuminate the darkness like a serenade. Nothing can make peace like a song. We've got a ways to go, but then we're closer than we've ever been. So let's walk together on and on. I am here, I am whole as I am. I am saved, I am loved as I am. I am grateful and I'm free, and I'm as perfect as can be. I am here, I am whole as I am. I propose a family that looks a lot like you and me, including all the people that we love. Then we'll take a photograph of everybody as they laugh, put it in the book entitled Us. I am here, I am whole as I am. I am saved, I am loved as I am. I am grateful and I'm free, and I'm as perfect as can be. I am here, I am whole as I am. like a song, may seem just like a thought, but it soon will take hold, become a truth that's taught for generations, generations, generations. I am here, I am whole as I am. I am safe, I am loved as I am. I am grateful and I'm free. I'm as perfect as can be. I am here, I am whole as I am. I am here, I am whole as I am. I am safe, I am loved as I am. I am grateful and I'm free. I'm so grateful. And I'm as perfect as can be. There is nothing wrong with me. I am here, I am whole as I am. Oh, just as I am. I am here, I am whole as I am.
I am so grateful to Summer for writing that song. Become one of my faves. Anyway, so today we complete part 2 of the 4-part series I'm doing on the Bible, and subtitled "What's So Good About the Good Book?" Because when I was a kid, the good book really wasn't that good. In my church of origin, it was something to be scared of. It was something that was used as a cudgel over my head. And I just have to pause and say, Ruth Ellen, I'm so glad to see Simba's doing his job as a nurse cat and taking good care of you. So this is wonderful. All right. So for those of you who may not have been here last week or haven't seen last week's upload, so our journey so far, I talked about a few things last week. We didn't get so much into a story as just to lay some groundwork about what Unity teaches about the Bible and how we view the Bible. And that's not to say that every Unity person agrees with this. We are a spectrum. We are a wonderful, beautiful spectrum of beliefs and agreements. And the core one being that we can agree that we're all on different journeys and we're all having different experiences, but that we can agree to disagree. We can agree that I don't see how you see that way, but you know what? You're still my bestie and I still love you and I still behold the Christ expressing as you, and it's wonderful. And I actually enjoy when I can have a dialogue with someone that doesn't necessarily see things the way that I see, because my job is not to convert you, but my job is to listen and to hear what it is you have to say and how you see things. So with that, let me just put a couple thoughts out there. This is from Eric Butterworth, a great Unity writer. It's the Bible is not infallible in Unity's beliefs, and I know for some folks that's going to be a hard one to stomach, because for many cultures in spiritual traditions, that's how they are. You know, that's just it is. A thing is not true just because it is in the Bible. Something is in the Bible because it was felt to have value in the search for truth. I saw a great meme the other day and it said, well, I believe it because it's in the Bible, and it was a power cord plugged into itself. And I think there's some, for me, coming out of Church of Origin that I did, I got that a lot. It was in the Bible, so I had to believe it, and no questions and no, um, especially saying, well, I can't believe that. That was verboten. When I left, I was called 2 weeks later and asked to please come back because Bible class was boring because I wasn't there stirring the pot. So there we go. And then another thought, the Bible is the story of our spiritual growth. No matter how far we wander from a spiritual standard, the Bible assures us that there is always a way open to God. Now, two things. First of all, Unity does not believe in the idea of God in the sky as a human form or an anthropomorphic form. Most Unity folk will tell you that God is a principle, is something that is beyond description, which is why we have so much difficulty, because I'm learning how poorly English describes things compared to many other languages. So that's the first thing, that it's not an anthropomorphic God with the book and the pen and the fire bolts and whatever. But it's also that we can always turn around and find that connection again, that it's a two-way street, that we can open up to that connection. As I talked about briefly, or more length, I'm going to just mention it briefly here. This week I'm talking about healing. And I don't want you to just think about physical healing. That physical medical healing is a part of it. But I want you to expand your thinking too, that healing can be all sorts of healing, spiritual healing, which is what I had to do when I left my church of origin and came into Unity. Financial healing. You know, when people say that they're in lack, that they're having trouble meeting their bills, to me, that's a call for healing of other beliefs around ourselves, around how economics works, because a lot of this stuff happens on the human level. And sometimes we got to get ourselves out of that human brain into that spiritual heart and thinking and move into that. And from our co-founder, Charles Fillmore, go to God first and thereafter as God directs. And again, I just say, go to that inner space, that inner guidance within you. Even if you don't call it God, even if you just call it that inner knowing that my gut tells me something. You know, in Unity, we have our 12 powers. So we have our faith up here that's aligned with our thinking. We have our feeling in our heart center and our love center. And then we have order and wisdom down in our gut, in our solar plexus, where, you know, if you align all three of those things, the faith, the thinking, the heart, the feeling, and the wisdom and judgment, you know, that makes for good choices. And you probably can see, sorry, wrong shoulder. Over my shoulder, on my shoulder, someone noted, are a bunch of frogs. And I have a lot of frogs because it reminds me to first rely on God, to stop and first go into that inner space and see what's happening, see what's being churned up in me. Maybe it's something as simple as I've gotten myself so triggered that I need to pause and take a deep breath and check in with myself and just say, hey, what's going on here? So, with that, let's continue our journey on healing, because sometimes healing, as I'm sure most, if not all of you have experienced, is about pausing and taking that time to rest, to allow your body to do its healing, to do its human healing, to reknit bones or to join up a cut or a wound, or to produce whatever is needed to um, cause illness and disease to leave your body. And the ways of answered prayer for healing are as infinite as God is infinite. So I'm going to share one story today with a metaphysical interpretation. And I want you to understand that my purpose is not to say, this is how it is. This is one interpretation. I'm willing to bet you if I looked up other Unity authors, that I would find similar, but not exactly the same. Because one of the beauties of doing metaphysical interpretations and saying, what does this story say to me? How does this story speak to me? Is that it reflects our own journey. It reflects our own pathway so far. All of the challenges, all of the blessings, all of the lessons. So our scripture today is from the book of Acts. And you might say, Wendy, if you're in the New Testament, or as we call it, the Christian scriptures, why aren't you doing a Jesus story? I'm not doing a Jesus story because I know for myself as a kid, I was told I couldn't do what Jesus did. So let's take it a step to the disciples. Let us take it to a step of people who had been fishermen, who had been common, ordinary, not particularly special people, and talked about them. So the scripture is from the 3rd chapter of the book of Acts, verses 1 to 10. One day, Peter and John were going up to the temple at the hour of prayer at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and a man lame from birth was being carried in. People would lay him daily at the gate of the temple called Beautiful Gate, so that he could ask for alms from those entering the temple. When he saw Peter and John about to go into the temple, he asked them for alms. Peter looked intently at him, as did John, and said, "Look at us." And he fixed his attention on them, expecting to receive something from them. But Peter said, "I have no silver or gold, but what I have I give you. In the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, stand up and walk." And he took him by the right hand and raised him up. And immediately his feet and ankles were made strong. Jumping up, he stood and began to walk, and he entered the temple with them, walking and leaping and praising God. All the people saw him walking and praising God, and they recognized him as the one who used to sit and ask for alms at the beautiful gate of the temple. And they were filled with wonder and amazement at what happened to him. All right, so that's the overview of the story. Could you see it in your mind? Someone so unable to walk for themselves that they have to be carried to a place from which they can beg to get some money for food, for shelter, for whatever is needed in life. So let's break this down a bit. I'm actually going to start at verse 4. Verses 1 through 3 just kind of set our scene that we have Peter and John walking. They're going to the temple. It's prayer time. So we know that there's going to be a crowd. So the beggar knows that that's his time, that he's going to be seen by people potentially. We could get into a whole conversation about to what extent people would have ignored him consciously or just seen him so often that they forgot that he was there. Verse 4. Peter looked intently at him, as did John, and said, "Look at us." So what does this mean? So in our format of 12 powers, Peter represents faith. It's the first power to be called. Peter was the first disciple to be called. John represents love. And by love, the English language is so sparse in its understanding. I've done some work on translation and things like that. And when you get into the word love, there's so many aspects of it. So I invite you to open your mind as much as you can. Consider even changing the word love to oneness, because that can be far more encompassing in my humble opinion. So they are in the flow. They represent being in the flow. And we talk about being in alignment between our faith and our love. And because our faith is in our head, we often add that thinking idea. And here's a little sidebar. The Christmas story is all about our thinking, our Joseph and Mary, our love being in alignment with each other to birth the Christ child. But that's another story for a couple months from now. But faith and love cannot be out of connection to universal substance. What is universal substance? Universal substance is the energy that makes everything. The planets, my computer, the technology that allows us to record this, to have folks on this call from all over the place rather than meeting together. So we have this universal substance. It's because it's energy, it can be formed into anything. It can be formed into my shirt. It can be formed into a drink. It can be formed into the cells that are needed to replenish my body. It is absolutely, positively everywhere present and capable of doing anything. They don't look at the man's circumstances, nor how or if he deserved to be in that place. The writer of the book of Acts, or the scribe that wrote it down, tells us that he was lame from birth. So perhaps some sort of birth defect. We don't know. Or perhaps an injury as an infant. We don't know. But when all is said and done, it doesn't matter. The circumstances don't matter. The judgment about whether or not something is deserved doesn't matter. They just look and see a man, to see that oneness with that man. And they invite him to look at them, to change his focus to love and faith. And it's continuing in verse 5. And he fixed his attention on them, expecting to receive something from them. You know, it would have been like, hey man, I'm going to give you something here. I saw a meme the other day, and it really resonated with me, that if you're interacting with an unhoused person, leave your camera in your pocket or wherever it is. You don't need to capture that. And that's a little political statement, but I'm sure it's true for that time. Because even Jesus, talks about, people making a big deal about how they're giving and how much they're giving. So I'm sure this guy's looking at these two men and saying, hey, there's two of you. I'm going to get double the amount that I would have gotten from one of you. But putting something in his begging bowl would have only reinforced the sense of lack and unworthiness. It would have met the man where he was. Now, that's not to say that meeting someone where they are is a bad thing. And if you can capture a higher vision, that is a blessing. If you're talking with a friend and they're struggling with something, by all means, listen as you are able. But as you're able to also say, hey, I'm listening, I'm hearing, but could I just say, and the things just said, I've got my hand raised. Yes, I do. Can I just say how beautiful I see you and how I understand that you're struggling right now? And can I say that I see such great things in you that you may not see in yourself right now, but they're there. And I would like to hold to that vision for you of prosperity, of wholeness, of being loved until you can see it for yourself. We all need someone like that. We all need to know that there is someone who can see the truth about us, that capital T truth, that unending, that eternal, that oneness about ourselves when we can't see it for ourselves. And if you can't see it for yourselves, I invite you to call Silent Unity. More on them in a moment. But can we hear this languaging about, it's much easier to say, to just give somebody some money than to say, I see you. I see the greatness in you. I know that things can be challenging right now, and I can't understand what you're going through. And I want you to know that I see you as you truly are, as an eternal spiritual being. Now, that could be really hard to say to someone out loud. But that is about the blessing I give as I pass people in my car who are out in their tents. I send them a blessing to know that I see them as we're seeing in this picture, in this story. The true need was for a healing of body, of sense of worth, of ability to be in the flow. Somewhere along the line, we forget our spiritual teaching. Somewhere along the line, we forget what we know. Sometimes we'll have a dream about it, or we might be in a space of quietness. Perhaps we're walking in a nature, and something reminds us of how we are and who we are out of the core of our being. But we're told that this gentleman needed healing. He needed healing of his body. We're told he can't walk. He cannot walk to the extent that friends have to carry him. But Peter said, I have no silver or gold, but what I have, I give you. In the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, stand up and walk. So Peter is inviting him to be reminded of that Christ self within. Now, in unity, we use the language a little differently than it's stated here. We use the word Christ to mean the oneness, the universal oneness, that universal aspect of ourselves that is eternal, that is universal, that is oneness in manifestation. And it can be really easy to forget that part about ourselves. I have a friend who, when she's driving and she gets frustrated, her road rage is a double blessing on your dumbass. Sorry for the language, but, and yeah, because she needs that spiritual self and that human self to come together. Her human self needs to express, and her spiritual self, reminds her that yes, that is there. And sometimes we fall out of that, and sometimes we fall back into it. But we need that reminder. I remember early on when I was training to become a licensed teacher, we were invited, and Post-it notes were still fairly new. Like the fancy ones were still fairly new. They'd just come out with heart-shaped ones. And we were invited to put our name with the word Christ underneath it and put it on a mirror so we would see it. So we would remind ourselves of our true spiritual nature. Might try it. Jumping to the 20th century, Albert Einstein had a really great statement. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. The circumstances of this unnamed gentleman are that he's lame. He cannot walk on his own. He is dependent on others to provide his food, his money, everything. So if you stay in that consciousness, you're going to stay in the problem. If you can move yourself out of that consciousness into something else, things will shift. Now, I believe I said last week, I hope I did, but I'm going to reiterate here just in case I didn't. You may experience what Unity folk call chemicalization, which is when the baking soda of your past beliefs is greeted by the vinegar of your new beliefs, and things get shook up. And sometimes it happens that you get physical illness as your body has this battle between your human self and your spiritual self. Every time I went for my week-long intensive at headquarters, I would get either pneumonia or bronchitis without fail. But I understood that it was because I was cleansing out past beliefs that no longer served, and that I had to literally cough out all of those old beliefs. Now, you can do it without having chemicalization. And if you can do it that way, blessings to you. But just know that that can be a part of the process, that it isn't always, bluebirds of happiness and hearts and sparkles and things like that. Sometimes spiritual work can be difficult. Sometimes it can be painful. But the rewards, in my life at least, have been amazing. So he, and I'm going to assume that that's Peter, immediately took him by the right hand and raised him up, and immediately his feet and ankles were made strong. He raised him up physically and spiritually in one movement. He took him by the right hand. So when we see that, you could say, oh, Peter was a right-handed man. No, that was a way of greeting people. So he's acknowledging him, and he's affirming that that is how they will be, that they are friends, that they are friendly towards each other, that he means him no harm. He raised him up. He helped him get to his feet. And immediately these parts of his body were made strong. Can you imagine having been carried for who knows how long to and from the beautiful gate, and suddenly you're aware of the strength in your feet and ankles? He didn't have to wait for permission. He didn't have to wait for the temple's authorities to say, oh, yes, you may be healed. He didn't have to wait for a first paycheck or a new home or a new car. The manifestation is immediate and totally encompassing. And that's I'm guilty of, and my hand is back up, I see. Guilty of that. I had to wait for I had to wait till I graduated from university. I had to go to university before things could happen. No, everything can happen in its immediacy. It's about how you align yourself with your spiritual self, how much you pull on that spiritual self, how much you rely on that spiritual self, that spiritual awareness. When you are in the flow, faith, love, and gratitude issue forth spontaneously. I have never seen anyone receive a blessing of any kind where they don't say thank you or I'm so grateful. Oh my goodness, that is so awesome. But some expression of gratitude. And sometimes we see it there weeping with gratitude. And it's a wonderful thing. Jumping up, he stood and began to walk, and he entered the temple with them, walking and leaping and praising God. Can you imagine what the people around are saying? You know, what's with these two guys? The guy reaches out and suddenly he's able to walk. What's with that? What magic is this? What's important though is that free will means it's up to the lame beggar, as he's called, to accept and embrace his healing or not. The healing is not mandatory. It's not a one-shot deal. If you're not ready at a certain point, that's okay. You'll be given another opportunity. I've seen that too many times in my own life to say that it doesn't happen. Free will also means it's up to him to remain in the flow or choose to go back to the safe, known life of being outside the flow. So he has this choice. He can go in the temple and give thanks and give praise and enjoy his new life and figure out what he's going to do next. Or he can have a statement where he's like, you know what? I kind of like that begging life. I kind of like that better. It was a little easier. I knew what to expect. I knew what was coming. It was hard, but it was known. And that can be a challenging thing when we're faced with a healing. That sometimes it changes us so much that others don't know what to do with us anymore. And that's okay. We're all on this journey. And we all have our own part to play and our own part to share. I'd like to think that the lame beggar decided to keep his physical healing and that he hung out with Peter and John and the others and learned how to connect with his spiritual self. So our thoughts for our time of meditation. What am I ready to have healed? And what will be released? The lame beggar had to give up, depending on his friends to carry him back and forth and on the generosity of others. What will need to be claimed or received? The lame beggar had to give up that position and claim his healing and receive that he's now a different man and people might be treating him differently. And that he might have to think about, well, what am I going to do for income? So let's take these three questions into our minds and hearts. And I'll leave the slide up in case you need to look at it. If you want to close your eyes, that's fine. This is our opportunity to go within, to find that spot within ourselves that the Bible calls the Holy of Holies, that space within where we are connected. We are so connected, there is no space between Christ or God or whatever name you choose to give that eternal self and yourself. And just breathing into that space, knowing that whatever human needs are from the past that need to be carried forward or are waiting for us as we continue our day and week. They can just wait for us. We move into this moment of the now, this moment where in English we say, I am. I am God in expression. I am the eternal in expression. I am a spiritual being having a human experience. And in this awareness, I take stock. I take inventory. Are there areas of my life that are calling for healing? Are there areas of my life where I feel I'm in lack? It's not limited to our human body. We can bring forward any area that calls for healing, that calls for a return to oneness, whether it's relationships or finances or employment or habitation, or even simply discerning what is our next best step. And let us take a minute in the silence to allow ourselves to take this inventory. And as we gently, without blame or shame, allow these thoughts to percolate, we know and acknowledge this eternal spiritual self that we also are. And we affirm our alignment. We remind ourselves that we have the faith, we have the love, we have the capacity for healing. We need not wait on anyone else, for it is within us to do. And we envelop the world, knowing that even times of seeming darkness, there is still opportunity for oneness. There is still an opportunity to be part of the healing. For as we heal ourselves, we raise the conscious awareness of this world. As we raise ourselves and do our healing work, we are releasing darkness, challenges, and allowing even more light to flow through us. And that light overflows into the rest of the world. And we are able to express our empathy and our oneness to all. And in closing, we just take into our hearts and minds this thought. Each of us has a highly individualized soul journey while on earth. We cannot know another's journey, but we can be a light. We can be an example. We can be proof of the oneness that is. And so it is, and so it shall be. Amen.
You are the heart, You are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are and all you do is a blessing to the world. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are and all you do is a blessing to the world. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit on earth, and who we are and all we do is a blessing to the world. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit on earth, and who we are and all we do is a blessing to the world. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of spirit on earth, and who I am and all I do is a blessing to the world. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of spirit on earth, and who I am and all I do is a blessing to the world. I'm a blessing to the world. I'm a blessing to the. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the heart, I am the hands. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the heart, you are the hands. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the heart, we are the hands. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the heart, I am the hands. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the heart.
As always, the Unity Prayer Chaplains are available. You can email our lead prayer chaplain, praywithdiane@gmail.com. She will, and the prayer team will be pleased to hold your prayer intention for the next 30 days. Silent Unity, which is our prayer ministry worldwide, has been around for 130 plus years, has resumed 24-hour prayer, live prayer. For a while, we had to go to recorded prayer, but as of last week, We're back to full capacity, and I'm so grateful we are, because there's nothing like being in the middle of the night and having a challenge and being able to hear a voice say, Silent Unity, how may I pray with you? If this is your first time joining us, please hang out, take a peek at our newsletter and sign up. You can see it at our website under resources, Unity Health and Peel newsletter, and that will give you all of the events upcoming. You can also check our events page, which has the Zoom links as well. Thank you in advance for all of your donations. We are 100% funded by your gifts. And again, more information at unityhaltonpeel.ca. And let us just take a moment to bless and appreciate the paths through which our money comes, whether it's through a job or a pension or a gift or out of the blue. We are so grateful for the energy expressing as money that comes through and supports us. And we give thanks that we are able to share a portion of that with this community to continue sharing a message of hope, of eternal oneness. And we give thanks for Eden Food Bank and all of that they do for this world, and for Unity Canada, who we also tithe to, knowing that our gifts will bless others. And as such, our energy becomes the blessing to the world. So it is.
Okay.
And coming this fall, I wish this was my picture, but it's beautiful. Friday night, Unity Ottawa is continuing its series, and it sounds like a lot of fun. I was unable to join last week, but it's being led by a minister candidate and an LUT candidate, so two credentialed leaders in training, and it's across Canada, and you're welcome to join. Full details are at our website. Unity of York Region, one of our newer LUTs, Susan Ferrante, is going to be leading a book study on the Universal Christ, and I believe there's a link to that on our website as well. Starting soon, my colleague Nancy and I will be co-facilitating What's So Good About the Good Book. If you're curious about the Bible, come and join us, bring a drink, and come and enjoy the discussion. And on Wednesdays, we have Sharing Wisdom, which is a wonderful group that talks about wisdom and what they're learning and what wonders they've discovered in their daily life. So you can find information about that at unitycanada.org Spirit Groups. Madam President, are there any other announcements that I have missed?
I don't think you've missed anything this morning, Wendy. Beautiful, beautiful lesson. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let us bring to our minds the children of our family, our community, and of the world, some of whom are experiencing things we can't even begin to imagine. And let us just take a breath back into that inner sanctum, seeing the light that we are unfolding and spreading across this world. Joining together, children and youth of Unity and of the world, we love you, we bless you, and we appreciate you just the way you are, knowing that they each have their own journey and that we can support them with our love, with our faith, and with our understanding that we are truly one. And let us join together in our closing prayer. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is. I am divine. And as always, Sue Riley will sing us out.
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one tie that binds us, that can't be undone. I choose love. Peace in my family is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one loving family, sharing one son. I choose love. Yes, I do. Peace for our planet is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one choice unites us. Let this be the one. I choose love. I choose love. I choose
Thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful week. Abundant blessings to you and yours. Until next time.